This is the Black Powder Podcast, coming at you live and direct.
Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast.
Thank you, and welcome again to an exciting edition of the Black Powder Podcast. I am Marcus Matthews, the only real libertarian, chairman of the Wu-Tang Libertarian Caucus, and proud American that is joined. Sorry, I always get emotional when I bring these two guys into my life every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Eric Parker, Bull Liberty, how you doing tonight, my good man?
Doing good, just hanging out.
Sorry,
Did you mute him?
Yeah.
No,
Can we do that?
I'm sorry, the crowd just jumped in here when I said Eric
they're
Parker.
like, yeah, stepping on my toes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Nope.
Happy to be
What are
here.
you doing? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I heard him. And then
Oh, come on.
we have Tub.
Wait a minute. Hang on. So, how come I can't hear Eric, but unfortunately I can still hear you?
That's a great question. Eric, will you check in?
I don't know. Hey, we're gonna need.
Can you hear him?
We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus can hear me.
All right,
We're
so
gonna need.
I just won't respond to anything to Eric tonight.
That works for me.
and then here's what happens when he leans forward. Then the bar covers his mouth also, so I have no idea. Look, nothing. I got nothing.
He didn't say anything that time. I want to, before we go any further, I want to also give many thanks to the guy who helps coordinate our guest for the podcast, Joe Hanush, down in Florida. Great guy. Give it up for Joe Hanush. Joe will be running for. Is he running for Congress or state?
I think it's state house or state.
State, isn't it?
One or the other. Yeah, something at the state level this time. It's like his 5th time running.
Well, we're going to have him.
I remember him, and we'll talk about him when we have him on. How about that? Thanks, Joe, for getting us some great guests. Not to include you soon. Just kidding.
And we have one of our first comments. You know what? I'm hiding his comment. I'm going to do the first actual comment from somebody I actually like, Amity. She's down there in Florida.
Out also.
And then we got this guy, Free, says, "Hey guys, Tub, check your DM."
Dude, I can assure you,
that's how Florida.
I'm not checking any DMs from him. Absolutely not.
Hey, check it and let us know.
I will shut down my account so I don't have to see DMs from him.
Yes. Again, for Free, Joe is awesome. I agree. Oops, I didn't do it into my Florida man voice. Joe News is awesome. Yeah. Hey, Tub.
Is that what I sound like?
Do I sound like your next door neighbor, Tub?
Well, you want me to go get him real quick? You can ask him yourself.
No, because I don't want to interrupt him and his sister.
Listen,
Tub's next door neighbor's likely black.
All right, here's the thing. I can't say anything because I don't know if Eric's saying anything.
He said your next door neighbor is probably black.
Actually, she was. She just passed away.
Oh, dang.
So there's a chance that you would know her. If it was a guy, you wouldn't know because I think most black men don't know other black men that might be in their family.
No, not at all. We don't associate with each other whatsoever.
Because you don't know them. You can't associate with somebody you don't know.
I want to bring up this point that I'm steady at number 9 as the Free's 9th favorite Black Libertarian. Last week I was at number 9. Week before 8, then 7. So that's also
what you're saying is every week a new Black person joined the Libertarian Party.
Yeah. Well, but I'm still steady at 9. So Free says we want Tub on the live show at the Libertarian convention in Florida.
That show does not do well for me.
But this is live.
I've done live
at the convention. Yeah, you need to do it at the convention.
What does that change? Listen, I don't get smarter at convention. All right,
people can throw tomatoes at you in person.
Well, with that being said, speaking of conventions, this is the only real libertarian podcast. And with that being said, we like to bring you real libertarians. Well, everybody tries to be a real libertarian because I'm the only real libertarian. Tubbs going to jump back in once his audio gets fixed. This week, we are headed to the Silver State, the great state of Nevada. And this has a little personal touch for me because I have family in Clark County. But we're bringing in our guest tonight. His name is Steven Borella, who is running for Clark County Recorder. And before I let you speak there, sir, hold on. There's a lot of buttons to push over here. And, sometimes I'm not as dexterous as I was. Even though I'm only 37 years old, I'm still,
lies.
Marcus. Your kids are almost 37 years old.
Steven, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, y'all. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited about it.
Awesome. So I'm going to hand off the mic and just sit here and watch Tub adoringly while Eric takes over.
Hey, Steven, thanks for coming on the show. Just real quick, if you don't mind, would you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to know yourself as a libertarian? Tell us a little bit about Clark County and what made you decide to run for office as a local office as a libertarian.
Of course. Well, I will say, like, my whole life's like a libertarian, is the libertarian ideology. I was born to a single mom. She got pregnant with me at 17, had me when she was 18. And my dad, he was always in and out of prison most of his life. But I found, a lot of people always say, like, people aren't kind. Charity doesn't work. I'm a living proof that charity works. I got 2 fingers on my right hand. I was born with a birth defect on it. And essentially, the Shriners Hospital did the surgery for free. My mom couldn't afford it, obviously, being a teen single mom at that. And at that point, like, charity became a big thing to me. Even now, I volunteer every chance I get. You might see me at the Salvation Army. You might see me at a Catholic church. You might even see me at a mosque. If it's about helping the homeless, I'm always going to be there. I'm always about helping others, charity. But when I first started getting into politics, when I really found libertarianism, it was through the 2016 GOP primary. I didn't really like Trump. There wasn't many Republicans that I liked there on that stage, but Rand Paul stuck out to me. And once I started learning about Rand Paul, I then found Ron Paul. And I was like, oh, Ron Paul's even better. Like what's this? Like, what's a libertarian, And so I started discovering what libertarianism is. And growing up in Alabama, like I did, it's very red out there. And essentially, I didn't feel free out there. They're not free. You can't do what you want out there. You can't drink on Sundays. Can't smoke marijuana. You can't gamble, which is my job now. I'm a poker player. And you can't do free things. And so then I moved to California. And I moved to California. I lived in the Bay Area for close to 3 years. And I loved it out there. But then again, you don't have economic freedom. And so at that point, I just knew, I was like, I'm a libertarian. And plus with the lockdowns, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a libertarian. And, but yeah, that's a little background on me. But with Clark County, what really made me want to run for recorder was essentially Debbie Conway. She's been in that office for 19 years. It was reported back in 2022 that she was 10 years behind on verifying and indexing records. There's been false liens put on people's homes. People's almost lost their homes due to a false lien because the recorder's office failed to check it. And nowadays, it was reported, I believe, back in 2025, that she's not even showing up when the office is open. So her whole job is to run the office, make sure her team's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And she's not doing that. She's showing up after the office is already closed. And, I want better for Clark County.
Gotcha. So go ahead, Tub.
I was going to say kind of what I mentioned before is truly explain what the recorder does. We'll start with that one.
Yeah, I mean, the recorder, we handle everything from property records, business records, marriage licenses, birth certificates. If there's a record to be recorded, we're recording it. And essentially right now, like I said, right now the job's not being done correctly. And we check, and technically by Nevada state law, you don't have to check on liens. You can just approve the lien when it comes in. But I feel like Clark County deserves better. They need a recorder there that's not going to put a false lien on your home. That's not going to, just basically leave you out to the wolves. Now you got to pay court fees. Now you're out even more money. And essentially, yeah, we record the records. I will say there's not a whole bunch that goes into the recorder's office besides the records aspect, but they also handle like the website. So, probably know about the public online index. What the public online index is essentially, I could look up your address and I could find out when you bought the home, how much you bought the home for, who owns the home. And the only reason I know this is back when I was selling solar before I did the poker, I would knock doors and I could pull up, oh, this is Mr. Gibson's house. Let me knock on the door. Hey, is this the Gibson home? My name's Steven. Your neighbor Susie told me that she wanted to go get solar. And, just kind of break the ice that way. But I always felt like it shouldn't be that open because you have domestic violence victims. You have foster families who need protection, and they shouldn't have to explain themselves to the government for a reason that they want their information protected. And that's my main thing that I'm running on is privacy. I want privacy for the office, privacy for the residents, and you shouldn't have to explain yourself to the government.
Now, do they have laws in place that makes everything so open? Like, is that something you're going to be able to just go in and change, or do you have to get legislation to make it happen?
No, I will have to fight for the residents of Clark County to get their information protected without them having to go through court fees. But I will say this, right now you have celebrities who live in Clark County, their information is protected. You have judges, their information is protected. You have politicians and their information is protected. Why do they get special treatment over Clark County? Now, I will say this, I can't ever remove anything off the record. If you ever request a record, I got to give you that record. No doubt about it. That's state law. But there's no state law saying your information has to be on that public online index. None at all.
So Marcus's address would be hidden in your county because he is indeed a celebrity, being the only real libertarian and somehow the 8th highest black libertarian. I don't know how both those things come together, but in your world they do. So let me ask you this: is it a partisan race or no?
It's partisan. Yes, it is partisan. There will be a
So you're actually running as a libertarian then?
100%.
Okay, so you're probably going out. You're talking to people out and about. How do they do with receiving libertarianism? Are they aware of what it is? Are you finding that, hey, you got to explain a little bit more? Like, how's it working for you being a libertarian out there?
I will say, yeah, I've been to a lot of different meetings. Like I've been to Republican meetings where they've really liked me. Of course, I used to be a salesman. I know how to turn on the charm when I need to. But the Republican meetings, they've always liked me. I've even had a few Republicans kind of tell me behind closed doors, like, hey, I'm supporting you, But I've also handed out clothes, food, donated food to the homeless with DSA. I know that sounds crazy, the Democratic Socialists. But essentially, they were very kind to me. They let me pass out my flyers because they respected my very thing that I'm talking about, privacy. They respected that. They know that there's people out there that needs their information protected. And essentially, there's federal law that if you are a victim, they have to protect you. And right now, it's not happening. And they see that I'm here fighting for it, even talking to them.
So Todd, if I may interject real quick, sorry. What is the political party of the incumbent? And is anyone else filed?
Democrat. You can see that one. Yeah.
All right. And is anyone else filed like from another party, Republican Party or any other third parties?
Well, I will say I haven't heard about any other third party running, which they usually don't jump into county administrative races. Oh, actually, libertarians, we haven't ran anybody for a very long time. I did just find out today for sure that there is going to be a Republican running. We haven't filed yet. We don't officially file until March 2nd, but I officially received the nomination January 24th at our convention. And essentially, I do feel like the Republicans, listen, she's been in there 19 years. That means she's won 5 elections. 5. And the Republicans each time has gotten embarrassed by her, even with all her issues. And this is what I keep trying to tell them is you got to give a libertarian a shot, because I know I can take some independent votes. I know I can take some Democrat votes because they believe in the message that I'm pushing. Heck, her primary challenger in 2022, he was running basically on the same thing I'm running on, except I'm running on universal privacy, but he was running on privacy for the victims of domestic violence and for the foster families, because he was he's a foster himself. And essentially, so a lot of people that I do talk to, they know that there's a problem in the office, but it's just so tribal right now that Democrats will never vote for a good Republican over a bad Democrat. But I believe that they would vote for a great Libertarian over a bad Democrat.
That's awesome. Real quick, everybody, I put up the link to support Steven in his race. So we would ask, even though you may not live in Clark County, you can still contribute to his success story and be a part of history. So 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you got, just try to chip in and let's, I'm already loving this guy because, you know, like I mentioned this before, my mentor said, you have to do things for the right reasons. And you've already struck me as doing things for you're not my mentor.
Oh, I'm not?
No.
All this time, I thought wait a minute. All this time is why I've been tolerating you. I thought I was your mentor. I was like, well, I gotta raise him up.
You are my mental. You are my.
All this time, I've had it all wrong. Mental is probably closer.
But yeah.
So I think that you're right. That at some point, do you almost start saying, hey, listen, like you go to the Republicans, go, dude, you guys aren't going to get this. This is not going to go in your direction. So the best thing you can do is kind of drop and just let me go do this. Let me take the fight. And you'll probably end up doing what Eric did to us. So right now, Republicans hate us because of Eric. Because that's like Eric really stirred things up here in town and caused some problems in a good way. And it caused some problems. Like he invaded the Republicans and he got Republicans to turn on the Republican in his race. So so they frowned upon that. But they wouldn't understand that, you know what, if you would stop, if you would just stop, it's the same thing Larry Sharp is going through right now. Like if you would just stop it and say, hey, just support me. Like, let me be the one to go and be the sacrifice on this one. And then you can take the support that comes from them. And here's the thing is, you're probably friendlier to them than you are the Democrat in all reality. Like
100%.
At some point, you start pitching it to them. Be like, hey, guys, let's figure out a way to make this work.
And if everyone in your town, it sounds like this Debbie has a bad bad reputation, could be really easy to get some Democrats to turn on her too. You know what I mean? And they're not going to vote Republican, but they could vote Libertarian. And if they know and it sounds like people know that she's a disaster in office and has been there for way too long, and it's time for her to hang it up and retire. Like, if you just be like, give the Democrats that message, then because that's the problem with the partisan race running against Republicans and Democrats. But everybody knows she stinks. They could vote for you. Then you get all the NPAs and third parties behind you, and you could easily win this. Still a little bit. Yeah. Well, do you have the number it took for Debbie to win the last election? Do you know that number?
I want to say it was 343,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's how many people live in Clark County?
I think 2.3 million.
I thought I was gonna say it's like 238,000, but she's a Democrat, so she got all the votes.
You're like Las Vegas proper, your county, like that is like we got.
Oh yeah, you got Las Vegas, Henderson, Boulder City, Mesquite, and Laughlin.
Because 343,000 is a lot of votes. That's a lot of people. That's all right. So that's bigger than Jacksonville. I didn't think in the county.
No.
I'm saying the population. What's the population of Duval?
Well, population, but the win number is about the same as Jacksonville.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to compare it to a county-wide race. Let's say mayor or property appraiser or something like that. I don't know. I have to look at the numbers. I was thinking
Ours
of the population.
our at-large races are the citywide like that. And remember,
Yeah.
there's 678,000 registered voters in Jacksonville. So the win number is roughly the same in all reality.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Why is that? So why is that number so far off for y'all? Is it just because nobody comes out to vote in this election, or?
And to be honest, I'm not too sure. I do feel like they're probably uninspired. Like I remember I went to one of the ICE protests, and essentially, you know, I was out there. I was wearing my Libertarian in Nevada shirt, had my Abolish ICE, Vote Libertarian sign, and people were coming up to me, and they're like, "And I feel so politically homeless right now. I'm so glad to see a Libertarian here." And I was like, "Man, come to our meetups, you know, come see us." I was like, "My name's Steven Borella. Take my flyer," you know. And I just feel like a lot of people are just feeling disenfranchised right now, as well as because in Nevada, you can vote as a felon. So there really is no excuse for people not to vote. But I just feel like just disenfranchisement, to be honest.
So Tubbs should move to Nevada.
Is it off your election?
Yeah, you say that one more time?
Is it an off-cycle election? Like our city council, they do it intentionally in their off years so that
no.
so the turnout is low.
It's this year, right? I mean,
so it's a midterm. So it's an important election.
Oh, 100%. Very important. Yeah. Very important.
It's only second to a presidential year would be a midterm. I would say. Yeah. But Tub, I think you missed my comment. I said you should move to Nevada so you could vote.
Hey, that's right.
Listen, if I registered Democrat, they'd let me vote there anyway. And so it doesn't mean I have to vote Democrat. I just say it registers Democrat. They'll let me vote. I'll vote against them.
Yeah.
From Florida. All right. So let me ask you this thing. All right. So your role is different than like city council and stuff like that and everything.
Yeah.
Do you find, and I asked this for a reason, because so like when Eric and I were running, we ran together here in Jacksonville, and we had another gentleman who was running with us. And many times, he would remember Eric. We'd have different things that we were going to, and they'd ask him off questions, and he would answer.
He'd get into the
single time, and we'd be like, "Dude, don't even answer it. You don't need to take that on. That's not your fight. That's not your fight. Don't worry about it." And he would, and we just stop talking. And he was smart. Dude was way smart, but he just would keep on talking. We keep trying to tell him, and so I asked this for a reason, because what you just said, you were out there at a very libertarian event or Democrat event, really. You're out there at that event. Do you fear that could reflect negatively on you, especially since you want to go steal Republican votes?
Well, I will say this. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be who I am. My mama raised me to always be who you are and stand up for what you believe in at the end of the day. I'm never going to run away from a fight, but I will say that when I'm at a Republican event and they say something that I don't like, right, I'm going to be like, okay, and I'm not going to speak on it because I'm a guest in their spot. But if I'm out in public, and, I'm out in public and somebody's done something, or if I just saw an ICE officer kill a man right in front of me, and then the Republicans are now anti-Second Amendment, you know what I mean? It's like I'm always going to stand up for what I believe in at the end of the day. But you're not wrong. I mean, essentially, I'm going to have nothing to do with ICE. I'm just dealing with records, people's privacy. But I only pick the fight if the fight comes to me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because voters get petty.
I would just say that is a good opportunity to get your information into the hands of people that are politically active. The thing what Tubb's saying is and we're not trying to tell you how to run your campaign. We're not your campaign
don't listen
manager.
to us, dude. Do not listen to us.
We didn't win. We didn't win, but
don't
I was just saying there's a difference in like.
Don't listen to Marcus at all. He didn't even leave the garage.
Yeah, Marcus hasn't ran for nothing, so he's got no experience.
I ran from the cops plenty of times. You can't say that crap.
I said for something, not from.
Not from.
Anyways, I'm just saying. Remember, there's a way to do it. Like, be there, grassroots. Consider that like bulk door knocking. You don't got to go to every door. You're where the people are. Exactly. Politically active people, or at least politically involved. I don't know that they vote, but they're obviously there protesting, meaning they're politically active, right? So that is a good opportunity to get your information into the hands of potential voters. I guess what I'm getting at is there's different than that, and then live streaming while you're there and taking a selfie. And I haven't looked through your social media to know what you've done or not, but I'm just saying, remember, everything you do on your campaign account is and will be used against you by your opponents. if they start to see that you're being competitive, they're going to chop up this interview,
This one.
They're going to try and take the things you said and turn it against you. And then they'll talk bad about you at their Republican convention, just like they did us. So,
well, I will say this: what his political opponents are going to do, because I strategically have him and Tub at the bottom. They're going to clip just him and Tub, and they're going to use Tub's face against you.
They're going to go, wait, he's down with Tub? We're voting for him. Listen,
you know what?
They're like, hey, I didn't know you Tub.
But I wanted to say something to the point where you went to the ICE rally. That's a great opportunity that I don't think libertarians take enough advantage of, because there's a lot of disaffected Democrats out there, like you mentioned. Because I just read an article where all these Gen Z whatever voters are already like, we swayed towards Trump, and it's the same. And that's where I think the libertarian messaging is missing right now. There is another one, if I could do the Yoda Obi-Wan Kenobi talk. So there is another choice. We just have to get that messaging out there, because I always say, there was a colossal failure in 2024. That was more than obvious, because nobody wanted them. And Angela sabotaged us. And now is another opportunity, because there's going to be a lot of Democrats voting this election cycle, because there is mounting frustration, and there's going to be a lot of independents voting this election cycle. So this is a grand opportunity for you. Let's go back to this link real quick, please.
Yes. And yes, kind of go on what you said there a little bit. I agree with you 100%. And the cool thing about it is, I get wherever I go, if I'm talking to a Democrat, if I'm talking to an independent, or if I'm talking to a Republican, at the end of the day, I know what issues we agree on. And at the end of the day, we will always find agreement. Like even at DSA, like I was scared. I was really scared going out there to pass food and clothes out to the homeless. I was like, oh, they're going to eat me alive. You know what I mean? But they were super nice, because I knew what to talk to them about. And at the end of the day, I told them this: I'm running for an administrative office. I'm not running for Congress. I'm not running for governor. Yeah, like at the end of the day, I'm running to help you, because I want to help you. I wouldn't be running, especially as a libertarian, if I wasn't here to spread my message and do what's right. Because at the end of the day, I could sell out and run as a Republican, or I could sell out and run as a Democrat, because I know it's the easy way. But at the end of the day, my life's never been easy. I got 7 fingers. People doubted me from day one. And next thing you know, I'm living in Las Vegas playing poker for a living. You know what I mean? It's like anything can happen. And at the end of the day, that's one of my strongest messages is, if I can do it, anybody can do it, and people should do it for the right reasons. And that's the only reason why I'm running.
How is the libertarian support out there? Is the party big enough out there? Does it help at all?
Oh, well, I will say we already have ballot access. So no matter what, like all our candidates will have ballot access. We actually have 3 other people running. We have Zach running for state assembly. We got my friend Gage running for state assembly. Ty running for state assembly. He's our Clark chair. And it's good. I will say there's probably only 9,800 registered libertarians in Clark County. But altogether, I believe statewide, we have probably around 16,000, like 16,800 or something like that. But a lot of Republicans will tell you they're libertarians, but I always just call them. I say the Republicans who like to
the Linos.
Yeah,
I can't. Yes, listen. Everybody's libertarian until it's time to vote.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I can't tell you how many times we had events here that we would go to, and Eric can tell you about some of these. We'd show up, and people would come up to us. And these are like Republicans running for office, and they'd come up to us. There's one right now. I can tell you, he was in my race. I was running against him, and we'd always talk. And then when he ran for another office after, he actually won. And so I remember every time, even when he ran for that one, he comes to me and goes, Tub, I'm really a libertarian. And I go, if you were, you'd put the fight in. Because I think what you're saying is kind of like what Eric and Tracy and I were trying to do. Like, our goal really was, we're going to run, because I don't think we had any. I think, Eric, did you find one that a libertarian had run many cycles ago? Right? Mm-hmm. I think it was 1 year ago.
I feel like not for city council. I don't think so.
City council? Okay.
It
So
might have been. Didn't DL tell us about some lady that came in and said she's going to run for office and wasn't? But that might have been for like Congress or something. I don't know. Anyways.
So our thinking was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're going to take the hit. Like, we're going to go out and we're going to have to represent liberty. Take all the darts that came at us. Explain the party, because we do a lot of explaining the party. So we were like, okay, let's do all of that, so that maybe the ones who come after us don't have to do all of that. And so I think it's good that you guys have, 3 or so running right now, which is good, because they'll see it. You guys can get out. I think yours, correct me if I'm wrong, but your office actually gives you a lot of freedom, because like you said, you're administrative. So you're like, hey, dude, I can tell you about things I like or whatever, but I don't have influence on that. So we don't have to argue. You make the coalitions. Like, you can actively go out and say, hey, listen, I like what you're doing in this party.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing in that party. And what you're doing is what libertarians need to learn how to do better. We say, oh, we gotta build coalitions, we gotta do it, and then we don't. Because then we just go, I have the only right answers as a libertarian, and everybody else is wrong, until they learn it. But when we get honest, we go, hey, wait a minute. Like, you found some issues that you can agree with both sides on. Go be a part of that. Go actively pursue that. And I think why they're taking you in is because you're actually living out something that is the heart of libertarianism. Go be active. Go volunteer. Go be a part of the solution, instead of just sitting around hiding and complaining all the time. So I think that will speak through. And I think if you keep doing what you're doing, that, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm going to feed the homeless people, I'm going to be actively engaging in libertarian work, not just running for office, but you're showing them this is what we do. So I think if more people could see what you're doing, and maybe, you know what? Why don't you take a minute and explain those things? Because I know you mentioned the DSA before we got started. You mentioned it briefly. Explain those out. Explain what you're doing, which is really just libertarianism at work.
Yeah, I mean, essentially it's just showing up. I mean, wherever I do see an event, whenever I do have time, I'm always going to be there. At the end of the day, a lot of people like to say, like, libertarians, like, oh, they don't care about people. They only care about these corporations. Well, it's just the complete opposite. We believe in giving from your heart. We don't believe in giving forcibly from your pocket. You shouldn't be taken from coercion to take from one to give to another. But if I want to give out of the kindness of my heart because I truly care about people, I'm going to do it. And that was surprising too, because like even the DSA, they were surprised when they're like, "Oh, you're a libertarian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a libertarian. I have a libertarian shirt on." And I had my flyers with me. And after they got to talking to me, I spent probably around 2.5 hours out there helping give food to the homeless, folding clothes, giving clothes to the homeless. And essentially it was a great experience. And after they talked to me for a bit, they're like, "Oh man, you're actually a pretty cool guy. You're a nice guy." And I'm like, exactly. I mean, all libertarians are. I was like, you should come out to one of our meetups and actually meet us, get to know us, because you'll be surprised about how much we have in common. Like, yeah, I mean, we're going to disagree on economics because you want to rob me even more, but it's not the point. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they're like, I really like what you're running on. I believe you're doing it for the right reasons. And I really am, because I even told them, I was like, listen, like, I want to get Debbie Conway out of there. And I was like, I know a Republican's not going to do it. And I feel like a libertarian is the only shot to get her out of there. And if y'all don't like me in 4 years, just vote me out and put another Democrat in. She'll probably do a better job. Like did Debbie Conway.
Like, hey, listen, if you have to get rid of me, put another one of them in, it's going to be better than her. So let's start by getting her out, and then we can move from there. And if you need to get rid of me at 4, have at it.
It's what it is.
It is what it is. At least the trouble's gone.
Yeah,
that's actually what we did with Eric when we moved him out of the state.
Like, hey, get him out of here.
We can run again in town. Like, no, Eric's gone. Don't worry, guys, he's gone.
It's pretty bad that I've been gone for over 2 years, and like they Republicans still hate libertarians there. You know what I mean? Sorry, Tub.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He truly ruined it for all. So here's what
you can't. I'm just kidding. We're kidding.
What you're saying is what I've actually. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to run here in district for city council. And what happens is, this district here is kind of similar to what you're doing. It's heavily Democrat. And so for the past 3 cycles now, actually it's been 3 full cycles, the Republicans don't even run anybody in the race.
Wow.
And so 4 cycles ago, they put a Republican in and they withdrew early, never made it to ballot. And so my thinking says, okay, wait a minute, I can stay a Libertarian. I can probably get those Republican votes because they're going to go, hey, you know what? Not Democrat, not Democrat. And that's will be some of yours. Some of yours will fall in that area. Hey, he's not Democrat. Let's snatch him up. And so if we say, okay, not Democrat, and here's the thing. Okay, I got the Republican votes. Third parties are sitting out there going, hey, finally we got a third party guy. This is great. And then you might find some Democrats that go, I don't like the one that's in. And I'm not real fond of these ones that are coming through. I'll give the Libertarian a try because you know what? He's not Republican. Like he's not a Republican, so we'll give it a try. And I think that maybe ends up being your same, as crazy as it sounds, your same model.
Yeah.
But I think that if we would do better about what we are saying, be active and open to both of the other parties. I was having a conversation today. I said, well, here's the reality of it. I said, me personally, if I were to dip out of the Libertarians, I'd be Republican. That's just where I would be. So I'm like, I lean more Republican anyway, but running against Democrats, I go, hey, guys, there are things that I'm on board with y'all with. And so you can go do that. And you wouldn't be lying. You'd be staying true to who you are. Like, dude, I'm not against you guys. And so you see, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the only difference is Steven is going to have a Republican opponent, which, Tub, if the Republicans hate y'all that much, they'll throw a guy in there just to play spoiler for you.
Then they have to. But then they have to.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're making them run someone. You're making them spend money.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because if it's going to go Democrat anyway, it's going to go Democrat anyway. You know what? Fine.
And speaking of spending money.
Yep. Y'all got to get honest now. And you can't just put all that support somewhere else. Come represent us a little bit.
Speaking of spending money, the donor box link's right down there at the bottom.
There it is.
He's got to get like 300,000 something votes. Which with it being a 3-way race, and I don't know if it was last time in the general election, but is this going to be in the general election? Like, do they have closed primaries in that race?
Yeah, well, there's like closed primaries. So essentially, like the Republican
will be in the general.
I'm officially in the general election. But the Republicans, they couldn't have somebody who wants to go run for it and primary the guy running. I mean, I will say even Debbie Conway. I mean, they've tried to primary her back in 2022 and it didn't work. And I actually kind of like that candidate. I probably would have voted for him, to be honest, definitely over her. But essentially, kind of build off there and but yeah, it's a countywide race. I'm definitely gonna have to take votes from both sides. But essentially, I do believe in the party back with the Libertarian Party backing me and the connections that I've made, even with some Republicans and some Democrats, that I truly believe I can pull this off. I'm a poker player at the end of the day. I'm never going to run for something I don't feel like I can win. That's why I was like, but the great thing about Nevada too, is people already understand sort of libertarianism. They might not know what the Libertarian Party is, but Nevada, we're crazy libertarian. We got no state income tax. You can drink in public. You can take your drink from outside the casino, still sip it as long as it's not glass. You can buy marijuana. You can go to the grocery store, buy your groceries, and then gamble on a slot. Where else can you do that? At the end of the day,
not in New Hampshire.
and still great gun laws, no matter how people from the 4th largest economy in the world move over there and try to bring their California.
Why would they need to? Why would they need to?
We got open carry. We do have open carry.
Well,
hey,
I mean, Nevada was extremely affordable prior to the housing market crash. It was, you could buy a huge house. You just have to deal with 125 degrees about 10 to 20 days a year. If you could deal with that, and it actually does snow in Las Vegas. So there's some weather extremes, but Nevada is a beautiful place.
He's running for records. He can't control the weather. What are you getting at here, Marcus?
No, I'm just talking about the overall aspect of how great Nevada is and how great it would be with a libertarian for Clark County recorder. Tub, if you're not following along with the rest of the class, I'm going to ask that you sit here quietly and wait for your turn.
He's not trying to get into the Department of Tourism. He's trying to get into records. Like, okay, listen, great weather. Listen, he's got to do his job regardless of what the weather is. Listen, some of us get out of our garages. We go and we get.
I have some great selling points on North Carolina too. Florida, not so much, because Florida, you got to deal with people like Tub. Tub is so off-putting that Eric moved from Florida to get away from Tub.
Tub ran me off.
He ran him off.
Eric moved right before we got open carry. That should tell you something. So Eric doesn't really love liberty. Eric doesn't really love. He found out we were going to be open carry. I'm getting out of here. This guy scared me. And he took off.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Dude, for the record, North Carolina,
don't even leave California. All right, you're in California. Shut up. You have nothing in this argument. You just sit there and just let the rest of the grown men talk.
North Carolina already had open carry. That's why I came here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Emily says Florida is paradise. I don't know.
And you moved to the area of your favorite gun manufacturer.
That's right. High Point.
High Point.
He went
get a 40 cal for $80.
40 cal.
Get you some straight ghetto guns. All right, let's get back to where we're supposed to be.
40.
All right.
Anyways.
All right. So here's the thing. Let's go to where we belong. All right. So clearly, there's no term limits in this office because that lady's been lingering. Okay.
Yes, no term limits.
How do you feel about term limits? Would you only stay a certain amount of time? And do you believe that, however this plays out, that you would run for another level of office?
I will say this, like, I know this is probably one of my more unpopular takes. I don't believe in term limits. The reason why I don't believe in term limits is because essentially I feel essentially if you want somebody out of there, you vote them out. I mean, at the end of the day, that's your choice. That's way how you operate in the market of ideas. Essentially, that's the only reason why I don't believe in term limits. I feel like it does limit our freedom to choose our representatives. Mm-hmm. Now, what I do have a problem with is her having 19 years in the office and being 10 years behind. So you can't even blame your predecessor. That was you. That was literally you. Essentially, then if I would ever run for office, right now I really am just focused on the recorder's office. I've never really thought about a higher office. Because I know if I do want to win in a higher office, it's going like Congress, governor, probably even Secretary of State. I'm probably going to have to join either the Republicans or the Democrats. And essentially right now, just how both parties are, it doesn't seem a very good likelihood for me. I've always been a libertarian. I've always resonated with libertarianism. Even though I am a minarchist and some of the anarchists get mad at me, but it is what it is.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm in the minarchist category also. Yeah, so we're in the same place here.
Same.
Listen, everything was fine until Marcus said it.
Yeah, all right, never mind. I'm changing from minarchist because Marcus won. I'm going to choose something else.
Yes, I got to come up with something. I'm socialist now. I'm going as far away from him as I can.
I'm a constitutional libertarian.
Right, there you go. Let me ask you a question since you brought it up technically. All right. How do you feel? Okay, it's just a personal thing. How do you feel about libertarians? Because you're like, hey, I'm libertarian. This is who I am. How do you feel about libertarians running as Republicans or Democrats, whatever, just to get into office?
Well, I'm okay with it as long as they don't sell out their principles. If you're a sellout and you're going to, like, I've seen people who's been in the Libertarian Party here in Nevada, and now they're running as a Republican. And at the end of the day, they've already switched. They did a 180 on their beliefs. And at the end of the day, I don't respect that. But if you're somebody like who's going to stand on your principles, like Ron Paul, if you're going to stand on your principles, like even Rand Paul, even though I call him libertarian light,
Yeah.
But if you're going to stand on your principles, I'm going to respect you. And that's the only reason why I would ever consider running as a Republican. But I see how that they're treated in the party. I see they're getting called names. They just want yes men in the Republican Party. And libertarianism, we don't believe in just being a yes man. We stand by our principles. We stand by what we believe in, even when it's unpopular. That's why I was like, when you asked me the term limit question, I was like, dude, I gotta stand on it. I know it's not popular, but I'm going to stand on it because it is my belief. And I've never been one to sell out my beliefs. And, because at the end of the day, like, that's all you have. All you have is your principles.
So here's what's funny. Okay. So the first time that the three of us went down to a state convention, So we got an opportunity to speak as candidates. And so they give Eric, what we're supposed to have? We're supposed to have like 7 minutes each or something like that to explain. It's basically, hey, send me money, talk, you know. So I got up there and I pastored it. I took 7 minutes,
like
I turned it
15
about
minutes.
18 minutes. and all I did was just dog out the party about, guys, we are horrible. And that's all I did. And it was kind of funny because as it's happening, like more people are filtering into the room, like some dude's mad in there, you know? and so here's the funny part. So when it's said and done, okay, I remember I'm sitting back there with Eric and all, and there's somebody, as being a pastor, you kind of learn people are kind of lingering because they want to talk to you real quick. And so I wasn't really paying attention, but I could kind of keep seeing somebody lingering. And so it finally comes up, and it was Spike. And so Spike, he's talking, he goes, listen, Tub. And at that point, we didn't know each other. And so he's like, Tub, yeah, I'm like, that's me, okay. And he's like, listen, he goes, what you just said is exactly what we need to hear. I said, okay. I said, well, listen. I said, I did it, and I didn't know if they were going to turn on me or not. And here's what he said. He goes, oh, they would have. He goes, if they didn't like it, he goes, oh, they would. He goes, they would have booed you off the stage. They would have thrown stuff at you. He goes, they would let it be known. And so I say all of that to say this. We have to win our own party. Our party is not the party of yes men. Like, just because you're in this party doesn't mean the libertarians are all going to go, you're my guy, you're the greatest. Oh, no, you got to win your own over first. You know what I'm saying? And we sometimes take it too far, especially for I made a post earlier today. I said, hey, libertarians, if there's a candidate running locally, like basically cut us some slack. There's no benefit running as a libertarian. It's not there. It'd be far easier for you to go and say, hey, I'm going to run as a Republican. I don't deal with all this craziness. But I like the fact, I think that I'm sorry, Marcus, these are candidates. What candidates do is that we know we want to stay true to who we are. It's not just hide behind a microphone. Like, we get out there and we want to be true. And I think it's kind of what you've been saying all along, is that this is who I am. This is what I believe. And I'll take the hard run if I have to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to take, because that way there, you know, if you get in and you won, you did it. Like you won it. It wasn't because you were able to hide behind a party or just come together. You had to win, even from your own people. You had to win what you got. And so if nothing else, we commend you.
I was going to say, and remember this. What was the number of registered libertarians in your county? Like less than 10,000?
Less than 10,000.
You need 300,000 votes to win. So those 10,000 are important. They'll show up, hopefully. They will all show up and vote for you because they're like, oh, libertarians running for a county-wide office. Those should be an automatic 10,000. The problem is getting them informed and letting them know, hey, you got libertarians on the ballot. But you have to go out and get, 290,000 more, give or take 30,000.
What is your attack to what is your method of attack to make that happen? Because listen, you're talking about that's a big area. That's a big call.
Well, my plan of attack is, me being a former door knocker, I do plan on knocking doors. I was always very good at it. I was a very good solar salesman. But essentially, that's one of my plans of attacks. But also, every donation that I get, I'm turning into ads. As soon as I get approved for Facebook ads, you're going to see me. If you're in Clark County, you're going to see my ad. I'm going to make sure of it, because that's where all my money's going to go. It's going to go into a little bit into T-shirts. It's going to go into a little bit of events. Right now, I'm trying to book the Clark County Fair right now. And use my pitching, that I used to do even when I used to work at Sunrun too, and that was when I sold solar inside of Costco and Lowe's and Home Depot. So I was that guy. And even then, I used to pitch people. I used to sell T-Mobile at a mall. I'd be like, hey, sir, do you know what time it is? And then he'd look at his watch. I'm like, it's time to go T-Mobile, my friend.
Well, hey, you know what time it is? Time to go libertarian. That's gonna be.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, listen, I dipped out from the last part of that because you're talking about, because in reality, in an area that big, you can't knock all the doors. Like so you got to be pretty selective in how you pull it off, in all honesty, because if not, you're wasting a lot of time. So I don't know if you have another job that's taking your time during the day or whatever. But as you started saying that, look, I actually read a book today, Eric. I read a book.
You can read?
I can.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I was shocked. A book. I was shocked too.
But the answer
you're going to get the audio version.
There's a shameless plug for Eric Frankie. All right, so it's the Liberty Candidates Practical Guide to Door Knocking, and it's simple because he was on the show last week, and I'm like, hey, that seems like, dude, it's a pretty legit little book. Not much to it, and so it actually has a number of things that kind of would probably help in what you're trying to even accomplish. So I will do a shameless plug for Eric Frankie real quick and say, hey, every libertarian candidate should snatch this book up for $10 off of Amazon. It was worth it.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out.
Inside, so you have a big ask in front of you. Realistically, it's a big call. So how much time are you able to commit to campaigning right now?
Well, right now, I mean, I play poker for a living, so like I don't have like a regular 9 to 5 or anything like that.
I don't know what that means. Like I know me and my 5 friends, I lose every time, so I'm guessing.
So you're not doing. That's why you have a job that you go to.
Before you finish this answer, when did you realize you were good at poker, and how long have you been making money playing poker?
I will be honest, it's only been about almost 2 years now. When I really noticed I was good, though, I was about 8 years old. My mom taught me how to play, and I used to watch it on TV, and it was crazy. And then in 2024, I was like, no way, I'm going to play the World Series of Poker. And I played one of the first events that year. It was Event 3. It's actually on YouTube if you ever want to check it out.
I'm just going to ask that. Is there any YouTube videos or anything?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, if you just look it up, even if you look up Steven Borella WSOP 500, it'll pop up. And I ended up getting 4th place. There for $64,920 off $500 entry, and at that was my start. You know what I mean? I loved it.
I loved it. Again?
$64,920.
Okay,
that's a career. $500. That's wild.
Oh man, my buddy, his name's Simon Britton. Y'all can look him up. He's dude, he's young. I'm telling you, he's probably like 25 now, and that kid made $258,000.
Yeah. he's about my. Hey, Terry Batts chimed in and says she knows what it means, Steven, and she said her grandfather opened up one of the first casinos in Vegas. Therefore, Terry Batts is a descendant of some mafia member. We just found that out right now. I think there was a character named Bats in Goodfellas.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. So everybody be nice to Terry. What did he do? Yeah.
So back to Tubbs' question. I had to get into the poker, like being a career. You basically 2024, you made enough money, you didn't have to work that year. And I'm guessing since then, the year after that, but you get my point. Like you were able to, I don't know if you heard of Dave Ramsey, but he says get the boat close enough to the dock. You can leave your full-time job for your side gig, if you will. So let's think of it like before 2024, it was kind of a side gig. You'd make a little bit of money here or there, but then you won $64,000 or whatever it was and said, hey, I could do this full-time. Since then, what's it like being a professional poker player?
Oh, it was different. I mean, heck, even after that 64,000 cash, the very next tournament, the next day, I got 24th in the Super Turbo, made 10K off of that. And then there was a few other cashes, nothing big, not in the 5 figures or anything like that. But I will say it has its ups and downs at the end of the day. It's not something where you can be like, oh, cool, I'm planning on making 15 grand this month. It's not a guarantee. I mean, there's been months where I've been in the red, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's just you have to take it. And what I love about poker is it reminds me of life, right? You can't control the hand you're dealt, but you can control how you play it. And at the end of the day, if you play it to the best of your abilities, you might get that win. It's like, there's definitely some chance into it. Trust me, I've seen some crazy hands and I've seen some crazy stuff happen. 2%ers hit. But at the end of the day, it's something I enjoy. I enjoy the freedom of it. Because at the end of the day, I got friends who make crazy 6-figure money, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm happy just to be making as much money as I was making at T-Mobile. I'm happy with that. If I make that in a year, I'm happy, dude. You know,
that's cool.
Listen,
all right, now back to Tubbs' original question. It was about how much time do you have to commit to running for office? I want to please re-answer that, but also how much money do you need to raise to get these votes?
To be honest, like I've talked to a few people that have worked on other campaigns and stuff like that, and they've told me I'm probably going to need about 6 figures, like to raise around 6 figures to get my message out there. And that's going to be tough. But with the time answer, I mean, I will say I'm probably going to be investing around 4 days a week constantly just to this. 4 days a week, I'm going to be out there knocking doors, making connections, talking to people. Like I'm talking to the Nevada Property Alliance because they don't like Debbie Conway. They know the trouble she's been causing. They post about it all the time. And I'm talking to them because I want to earn their endorsement over the Republican because they're like, I'm tired of this bureaucracy. And I'm like, that's all you're going to get even with the Republican. It's just going to be more bureaucracy. At the end of the day, if you truly want a recorder to work for the residents, you're going to have to elect a Libertarian.
I think this is a perfect opportunity with your candidacy for the Libertarian Party, because this isn't a policy job. You're not out there legislating and doing that stuff like Tubb was alluding to earlier. This is an opportunity to show libertarians can function inside of the current status quo without being the current status quo, if I could phrase it that way. Yeah. Because if you're 10 years behind in your work in any other sector aside from public, they would have ran your rear end out of there easily 9 years before that. And now we have these people that get comfortable. I see them too. And, I may or may not have been guilty of getting comfortable.
Yeah, there's mirrors. You have mirrors. You can see those people.
Yeah. But the fact that somebody is so comfortable in their job that they could be 10 years behind in their work should disgust every single person in Clark County to the point where their political allegiance needs to be reviewed. And even their, I don't want to be this guy, but sometimes I think some people shouldn't be able to vote. If you're going to vote for this jackass again, after what she's been doing, this is why I'm for abolishing the Department of Education. It has failed Americans miserably. Where you think this is the best we could do, at least it's not the other guy. I was like, that's one of the stupidest mental concepts that we have with our political system that I could ever think of. I just don't want the other guy to win. So I'm going to vote for the same BS this time around, this same horse plop.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. And essentially, what I think the problem with it is why most people don't know what the recorder does. Like when I talk to people and I'm talking to them about the recorder's office, they know nothing about it. They don't know that she's 10 years behind, even though it's in the Las Vegas Journal, you know what I mean? Even though it's in the Nevada Globe, talking about it, but they don't read that. They're more focused on national elections. They're more focused on national policy. But what I'm trying to tell people is local is where your government affects you the most.
Absolutely.
Because
people are stealing houses.
Yes, people are stealing houses.
I was going to say, we got to get you those 6 figures because the way you win this is 300,000 mailers, which that's going to be more than 6 figures. So we got to get you. I mean, that's more than $100,000 is my point. But if you took those headlines and you put them on a mailer from those, I don't know the newspapers you mentioned, but that's all you need is those headlines and then the clips in the articles where it has her name in it. And then you just got to show people that. For now, you could have copies of those as you're door knocking and you knock on a Democrat's door and they don't know her by name, Debbie Conway. They're probably like, I just vote down to get Democrat. You know what I mean? You're like, well, you could at least avoid her this election because here's why. And then you hand them the news article and be like, there's her. Avoid voting for her and vote for me instead. That's all you got to do.
Like I've told people, I'm not telling you to vote for the Republican. I'm just saying vote for me. Exactly.
Do you know? So when I was running here for city council in my race, there were 6 of us, and there was myself. There was another independent guy who put over $400,000 of his own money into running. We had 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and this is what I always tell everybody. I said for the Republicans, there was a white guy and a black guy. For the Democrats, there was a white guy and a black guy. One was gay. So everything was stacked against me inside of that one. But I remember I was going around, and here's what I was telling people. I said, listen, the other Republican that was in the race was horrible. He's a horrible candidate. And I would tell people, especially Republicans, I'd be like, listen, if you're not going to vote for me, don't vote for that Republican. Vote for this other guy. Like Reginald Blount was his name. I said, vote for Reginald Blount. Vote for him because he's way better. So you could almost endear yourself to them and be like, listen, if you don't vote for me, do me a favor. Vote for the other. If you're only going to vote Democrat and you're going to stick to Democrat, vote for the other one, please. Please.
If there is another one.
Because here's the thing, because even if you lose, okay, you still want the office to be better because the office being better is better for you. You live there. You know what I'm saying? So even if you could tell them, because it's kind of endearing when you go, they all suck, you better vote for me. Be like, listen, okay, if you're saying D has to be your thing, great. Do me a favor and do you a favor, not that D. Vote. Yeah. That sounds horrible the way I'm saying this. Don't vote for that.
I'm ready to roast you right now.
Yes, I know.
I have so many jokes just like chambered up.
Yeah, as I'm saying, like, wait a minute, I know what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, that's not coming across right. So if you're saying you have to vote for a Democrat,
you gotta choose the D. Choose the big
vote for
one.
that D. Vote for that D. You know you're saying that right. It's fine.
Be selective with your D. That's at the end of the day, Tom Train, be selective with the D.
Don't be Marcus. Be selective with your D.
Don't sling that D all around town, you know.
All right, y'all have a blessed night. And I can't even say it because I started it. I started.
Great sermon, Pastor.
So, but I think that in reality, I think it was so many times like, vote for me. Well, hang on. Some people aren't. Let's be very clear. You're not going to get all the votes just because you talk to them. And so, if nothing else, do the better and be like, listen. If you're not going to vote for me, got it. But this one would be better for us than this one. I'm not saying the letters. That one would be better for us than the other one. Because I think that what we forget sometimes is, okay, if I run, okay, and I'm going to lose. If I lose, okay, whoever's in there is going to represent me. So you know what? What I want, that if it can't be me, good Lord, can we get the better one of the ones who are running? You know, and because we have to live in it regardless. And I think that even as libertarians, we forget that sometimes.
But for the record, you are the better one. You're the best candidate.
Yes.
On the ballot.
That's right.
It's easy for you to say that. But we're just saying.
Oh, yeah, definitely say it because it's true. Listen, I said, even our last presidential cycle, I said, listen, even if Chase wasn't the best that I thought, he's still better than the other ones.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, sometimes even the worst libertarian is going to be better than probably the best Democrat or Republican.
Even Marcus.
Chase wasn't the worst libertarian because we had almost every libertarian presidential candidate on this podcast. Chase was not by no means the worst one that came on here. And
who was worse?
So
I'm not saying that Chase. I'm like, what do you mean Chase was the worst? That's not what I'm saying. But who are you?
No. But I'm just adding to your point. Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like my least favorite before convention was that we had on the show. I'm trying to think. Was probably Rechtenwald, but he was another academic nerd. That's kind of the vibe I got. And then, to be honest, his speech not on gummies at convention was pretty good. And then he blew it with Gummygate.
Yeah.
When he got up. So, you know. But anyways.
All right. So, here we are. We went overtime. We're overtime.
Yeah, we're overtime. Sorry.
Marcus, I got nothing extra to add. I know you go through us. I got nothing. I'm good. So, go to Eric.
Well, I'll just say thanks for coming on the show, Steven. I like you, love you as a candidate. I'm going to commit to sending you $50 at the end of this.
Thank you.
Marcus, text me the donor box. When I do that, I usually challenge Tub and Marcus to match it. I don't know if they will or not. Tub already dipped into his allowance buying that $10 book. You know what I mean? So he might only be able to send 40. What he could do is send text message you pictures of each page so you don't got to buy it. I'm just kidding. But
hey, text me the link. I'll throw some money at it.
Text us the link, Marcus, after this. I'm gonna throw $50 at him. Guys, all of our comments, folks in the comments, this race is a daunting task. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just round down. 300,000 votes to win is a lot, but it's a partisan race with a viable, great libertarian spokesperson, libertarian candidate, a great salesman for the message. I say we get behind this guy. This is one of those races. It could be on the news. All right. I think Steven has a real chance to win this, but if he doesn't, he's definitely going to piss off the Republicans, right, Tub?
Yeah, great. And ruin for all of the other ones who stay in town.
But I'm just saying he's challenging the Uniparty. He will get press for the Libertarian Party, for the Libertarian Party of Nevada. And it's a good stepping stone. This is your first time running for office, right, Steven?
Oh, yes. It's my first time.
If he breaks, I'm saying like 20%. I'm saying if he beats the Republican and still loses, next election cycle, he runs for the same seat and he wins. This is one we need to get behind. We need to throw some money at it. Marcus, drop the saying we have here. I'm done. I'm out. Mic drop. Peace.
Well, I want to say I hope Tub can give in some money because last week he spent all his corned beef hash money, the $10 monthly allowance he gets for
you
corned
don't
beef hash.
you don't understand white people at all, do you? Like, not at all. Like, do you talk to us? Where do you get your ideas about white folk from?
From the neighborhood black associated meeting where they told me that you guys think Sprite is spicy water.
And there
It's got a little kick, you know. It's got a little kick.
Joke's on you, Marcus. I don't even drink soda. So,
Sweet tea only, my Tub.
no, dude, it's been water all the time lately.
And since I've left, he hasn't had a craft beer in 2 years.
It's listen, you have to drive me out a little bit.
That's sad.
All right, Marcus, go ahead and do your thing so we can let Steven finally do the important stuff and plug himself.
All right. Well, I don't really have much to say. I want to thank Steven very much. I got to be honest. Last week we had Eric Brakey on here, and he's a libertarian leading Republican. I would assess that. But the week before that, we had Steve Brown on here from Texas, and he's like a libertarian like I am. We came to the party naturally because it wasn't a Ron Paul moment, even though I do admire that guy. Hello?
We got you.
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, we can hear you. But oh no, listen, I wasn't brought in by Ron Paul either. I was a Neil Bortz guy.
Well, I'll give
some other old white guy. Got it.
The other old white guy.
But like I said, doing things for the right reasons is always key to me, and I look forward to following your candidacy. If you got anything to plug, please shoot it our way. We will do so to the best of our ability. With that being said, I still have your link posted here for the donations, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to $50, $100, $500. Let's get this done. Libertarians, like we say on this podcast, put your money where your memes are. It is time. What's up, homeboy? We got my younger brother on here. You know what I'm saying?
Younger brother? It's your grandson's age. Good Lord.
He may be.
How old was your mama having kids? Poor woman.
Well, he may be one of those libertarians ranked above me. One of those black libertarians.
There you go.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. Go ahead and plug all where everybody can find out about you and whatnot. Steven.
Oh yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook at Steven Borella for Clark County Recorder, as well as you can follow me on Instagram, same thing, Steven Borella for Clark County Recorder, and on Twitter, Steven Borella 52 because I got the 5 and then I got the 2. and essentially, the website will be up soon. It should be up, I say, latest 2 weeks.
Sweet. Everybody else good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show, Steven.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank y'all for having me. I really enjoyed it, y'all. Y'all are a blast to talk to.
Word. Steven, this outro goes for 56 seconds. We asked you to kick it for that almost minute so we could say some proper goodbyes. And I probably have some more jokes about Tub I couldn't say on air to ruin your campaign that I want to make you privy to.
Why? Because you love all the white people together?
I'll see y'all then, y'all.
You racist.
Y'all have a great day, okay?
Yeah. And this has been the Black Powder Podcast. Oh, he did that. The only real libertarian podcast that has ever existed. I'm Marcus Matthews, the only real libertarian. Like I said, chairman of the Wu-Tang Clan caucus. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Tub. Live free
Or die. Or die.
This is the Black Powder Podcast. Coming at you live and direct.
Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast.